our team would like to disagree in further promoting social entrepreneurship as Ateneo's primary strategy towards nation building. It is important first to take note of what kind of nation building we Ateneans would really want to engage in. As we said a while ago, these will still be grounded on some Ignatian values that have been taught to us throughout the years. And it is important to look at the whole perspective, gathering of different core competencies from different students with different interests and different passions. However, we do not discount the power of social entrepreneurship, or as said a while ago, entrepreneurial ventures which help our countrymen in need. However, again, we emphasize that this is not the only viable avenue for development to really push on. It is only one of other ventures we can actually go to in order for us to see how we can help our countrymen in need. So what is the bigger picture? If social entrepreneurship is part of only the many viable avenues in order for us to really engage in nation building, what else can we Ateneans engage in? Now, in addition to this, it is important to see the different initiatives that are already present here in school today. And by seeing this, we look at the different organizations here in school, both accredited and unaccredited. These institutions, these organizations have already been doing their share in order to build the nation even in their own small ways. And as Sanggunian, it is important to realize what they are already doing and how we can further help them in order to really create the substantial change that we want to build. Now, for next year, it is important for the Sanggunian to create partnerships with these organizations, not to overlap with the different things that they are already doing, but rather to help the students engage more in some initiatives that are already present in order for them to have an effective, a viable, and doable initiatives that we can engage in. Ultimately, I think it is important that we, as Ateneans, look at the different avenues where we can really create positive and substantial change. It is important that we do not just go into a venture and then go back afterwards. It is important to see where substantial change can go, where substantial change can be created, and this can only be done through proper dialogue with the different students involved. Without this dialogue, we won't be able to determine the real strategies, the real initiatives needed in order for change to be created.
The Alliance of Student Leaders, as a coalition rooted in the Atenean values, Cura Personalis, and leadership formation, believes that we should be men and women for others, but within each individual's capacity and capabilities, interests, and passions. We believe that yes, social entrepreneurship is a viable strategy towards nation building, because social entrep highlights the importance of creating partnerships with communities it tries to help by creating sustainable livelihood, therefore showing the importance of catering to the needs and problems of the community it's trying to help, and being sensitive to each individual in the process. Social entrep, by working with the members of the community, serve to empower the community. For example, Jacinto and Lirio showcases the Filipino innovation of plant leather and aims to raise the competitive level of indigenous brands, while keeping at its heart the empowerment of Filipino innovation and empowerment of the marginalized communities in the Philippines with livelihood opportunities. Along with this, we also stress the fact that social entrepreneurship is not only for business majors alone. In building a social enterprise, the different aspects of being able to make the enterprise works comes into play. For example, comm majors can aid in marketing. Chemists, physicists, engineers can aid in creating products and innovation. However, we believe that social entrepreneurship is not the only strategy and should not be the primary strategy, because we also think that there are other viable alternatives that are able to harness the skills and interests of the students and each individual. If the students are from sciences, for example, health sciences, biology, life sciences, or those studying to become doctors in the future, these can provide many opportunities in clinics in poor areas through medical missions, giving health education to different communities, and giving health benefits and services. For example, a project created last year called We Heart aim to educate the barangay to which it caters to regarding health problems such as dengue and how to create a better environment in order to prevent these diseases and sicknesses in their communities through the arts. So, if you're from technology, if you're from the technology aspect of sciences, you can also create innovative means to help in society, but it does not necessarily have to be in a business. It can be a social service or an aid. For example, Isang Litrong Liwanag is a sustainable lighting project which aims to bring the eco-friendly solar bottle bulb to disadvantaged communities nationwide. So in a sense, what ASL believes is that our strategy toward nation building should apply the interests and knowledge of the students. It's what each student here has learned throughout the years in the Ateneo, and using these skills and knowledge in a way that will be beneficial to the nation. So we don't necessarily have to venture into the social enterprise to be able to have a nation building. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our team does not agree with the motion being that social entrepreneurship should be the primary strategy for nation building. Because we say that where the nation is constructed, we find that social entrepreneurship is inherently private and it isolates the people involved. It hampers participation on the political and on the national level. So what is the problem with social entrepreneurship? It is problematic because it follows the modernization model, which says once you have access to capital, you are able to participate on the national level. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, this level of, this model of modernization is empirically proven not to work in third world developing countries in Asia. Secondly, there is no assurance that if you form economically, that you will form democratically. Social entrepreneurship, ladies and gentlemen, is an economic intervention. But we do not need an economical intervention. In fact, we need a political one. The poor are not poor because they are lazy, and the rich are not just rich because they are savvy, but because we have a system which should regulate capital, but in fact, this is the very system which perpetuates it. Social entrepreneurship, it isolates the people from participating on national level of politics. How? Because, as Ms. Kate Season said from ASL, it solves the problems of the community. But that is precisely the point. It just solves the problem of the community. It ignores the larger problems, such as the disparity of wealth. So, how can we change that? Social entrepreneurship, just, it's an offshoot of all of these things. It is an efficient way to solve problems on the community level, but efficacy must not always be our #1 agenda. We always think that economics must be put first and politics is just an afterthought, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to say otherwise. That we must start looking at issues on the level of the national and not just isolated cases and how we can improve economically. Thank you.
I would like to go back to the point of Mr. Gio Alejo regarding his stand about this motion. Again, what we are talking about here is primacy and not anything else. Because it has already been mentioned by our team that we want to understand and cater to the different avenues that the students have. Now, the issue here is primacy. Again, we go back to what we had said earlier. Is this the viable means? Is this the viable primary means for nation building? This isn't a question whether it's right or it's wrong. What we are trying to promote here is that as Ateneo, as an entire community, is this the right means that we want to prioritize to our students to make sure that we prioritize and so that we contribute to nation building? Is this what we really want to show to our students? Now, we are not, again, excluding the people whose competency or people who are really inclined to entrepreneurship, which is why we are still welcoming this as an avenue, given that this is not the primary avenue, as we have stated earlier. Again, we want to go back, is that what we want to operate in is the understanding that we want to provide the organizational support framework. And again, going back to the different organizations, as already mentioned by our previous speakers, that organizations are already giving their own means of nation building. We want to provide different avenues, and we want to welcome these avenues to our organizational support, thereby not putting primacy on social entrepreneurship alone or anything for that matter. So, thank you.